welcome to Legal Tips for Portugal. So we have seen what is a promissory contract. We have seen what are the legal documents to buy a property. And now it's time to know when does one actually become owner of a property? When do you actually take possession of a property? Well, most people will say with the notary deed, and that's correct. But what does that mean? Well, first of all, where do you sign it? Well, there are mainly two ways to do it. One, with the notary. Portugal has abolished the public notaries as such, and they've become private notaries. They are still under regulations of the government, but they are called private notaries. At the same time, since 2005, lawyers are also elected to do a number of acts, the same ones that notaries perform, certifying documents and transaction deeds and many other acts. So for that reason, we can summarize and say that you can sign a property transaction with a private notary or with a lawyer in a document that it's called private authenticated document. They are both legal, everything is correct. I would say that best advantage is that with a private authenticated document, the registration of the property must be done at the same day, whereas with the notary as such, there are 2 months to perform the registration. So you go to the notary. Normally, you will be represented through an attorney. So with a power of attorney, your attorney represents the vendors and another attorney will represent the buyer. At the notary, the documents, or with a lawyer, of course, well, at that same act, the documents will be verified. The same documents we discussed before. After all, we want to make sure that there are no liens and charges in between the promissory contract that you've signed and today when you're signing the completion deed. All that will be verified. The taxes. Of course, one has to pay taxes to buy the property. The taxes must be paid before the deed. They will be identified in one of the many items of the deed. And the two taxes that have to be paid are the stamp duty and purchase tax, in Portuguese called Imposto Municipal sobre Transações, hence IMT. So taxes are paid and the parties present will sign. Who does sign for the property or at the deed? Your attorney representing the vendor, the other attorney representing the buyer, and of course, the person that acts as notary, whether a notary or a lawyer. If the parties are present, they can also sign, of course, and an interpreter will also sign if they do not understand the Portuguese language. The deed is signed in Portuguese, of course. Then everything has been verified, parties have signed, payment, don't forget the payment. The vendor would not sign without the payment. How is the payment done? Payment is done typically with a bank check. Why is that? Why not use a bank transfer in these modern days? Well, security reasons. You can imagine that a vendor would not sign that he is selling the property without having received the payment, whereas a buyer would not want to pay without the vendor signing first. So for that reason, everything happens simultaneously. We prepare a bank check, a guaranteed payment, that is made to the vendors or their attorney, and once everything has been verified, once everybody has signed, then the check is handed over. So At last, all is missing is, of course, giving the keys, and voila, transaction is completed. Congratulations, you just bought a property.